See ya.
I'm paragliding!
See ya. Hey, what's up guys? This is Ari in the Air. Welcome back to the channel. So my friend Jesse Meyer at Lift Paragliding out of San Francisco sent me the Flow Fusion ENC to test out. Very exciting glider, and I have really put the screws to it. And on the Flow website, they are calling this glider the game changer. Is it the game changer? You want to know what I think? Here we go. So, the Flow Fusion, seated right at the top of the ENC class, which is my favorite class. I've owned Deltas and Alpinas and Sigmas and Aspens. I've flown hundreds of hours in this class. I love it. It's the daily driver, but also the XC machines. And the Flow Fusion is a really exciting glider in this class. And I flew the size small. It goes to 92. I flew it everywhere from probably like 88 to 98, and it flew great everywhere in the weight range. I like to fly gliders heavy. It makes them faster and more responsive, and so I really like that. The gliders seem to be still floaty and have a great climb performance over the top of the weight range. I think that's a conservative weight range for this glider. The Fusion is a 6.35 aspect ratio. It has 68 cells. It has a 3-liner layout in the center of the glider, and it has a 2-liner layout on the wingtips. This is a very interesting design from Felipe at Flow Paragliders, and this lowers the overall line drag. It makes the glider more efficient, but it doesn't really increase the workload for the pilot. It has a really good BC connection for the rear riser steering, and it has nice T-grips, which we're going to get to, and it is designed to be an XC machine. Felipe, I called him and he told me that he's tried to fuse as much of the Spectra and XC Racer 2-liner technology that they've developed into the Fusion. He is so excited about this project, and I am too. And in general, what I think about this glider as an ENC is...
We call it the game changer.
It is. It absolutely is that. And
I think it's the best ENC I've ever flown in my whole life. There is a revolution happening in paragliding, and the Flow Fusion is a part of it, but it's not the only glider in this. There's a number of gliders that have really taken advantage of this 2-liner technology that's trickling down into the ENC category, and that is what makes this glider so good. I'll explain that a little bit here. When you fly a 2-liner, you can use the rear risers while you're on speedbar as if they're the brakes. You can active pilot the glider using the rears on full speed right up next to a ridge. If you want to YouTube some PWC comp pilots flying close to terrain as fast as the glider goes in full control, that is the technology that is trickling down into this Flow Fusion that makes it so good. And this BC connection, rear riser steering on the Flow is so good. Felipe uses this white Dyneema webbing on the rear risers that makes the rear riser steering really smooth. Being a 3-liner, it means that the rear riser steering is going to be more pressure than the two-liner counterparts because you're pulling on the C's and the B's, and there's a lot more of the weight that you're suspending from that is held in the rear risers. So it's a higher pressure on the rear risers than a two-liner, but it works just the same, and it's so efficient. On this glider, I have flown probably 25 hours. I have done a ton of stalls, of which I screwed up one, and that led to being this video called the streamer incident that you may have seen. I've also, on Friday, I flew it for my longest flight ever, 170 kilometers, 6 hours in the air, and this thing is just so comfortable. For the amount of performance that this glider has, the workload is insanely low. It is insanely low. It is so comfortable that you can eat your snacks under this thing without touching the brakes. You can fly for 6 hours and be relaxed the whole time. It is so easy. The glider, it has an incredible pitch stability. It is just over your head all the time. Can't say enough about that part of the glider. It does really good flat turns, but it still has a nice, responsive, dynamic feel. It is not like a boat, but it's also not too sporty. It's really like a nice blend of these two things. Zayed Basil from Dust of the Universe, he tested one out and he said that he thought pilots who were capable at high B level could easily step onto the Flow Fusion, and I agree with that. It is a really easy to fly sea glider. In comparison, my Aspen 6 is exponentially more work for me to fly than the Fusion, and the Fusion has at least 3 clicks of performance over the Aspen. The Aspen turns really well, but is a handful on the speed bar, and the Fusion on the bar is so comfortable. You can fly it all day long on the bar, no worries. It's so beautiful. The kiting is really straightforward. The launching is a piece of cake. The glider just settles overhead. Like I said, the glider is incredibly pitch stable, so the launches are just easy. The climb rate is at the top of the class. The glide is at the top of the C class. This thing really does have the newest technology in paragliding fused into it, and it's just a sign of how great the design is getting all over the world. And all these different companies, people are designing beautiful paragliders. It's 2020. There are so many different brands that are making really great gliders, and Flow is absolutely one of them. This glider is not only does it fly really well, it's just beautiful. It has such a nice design. It's a really elegant colorway and a really just nice looking profile. So it's very aesthetically pleasing. I'm very aesthetically oriented, so that has a lot of weight with me. So this is a very beautiful glider, and I appreciate that a lot. The pilots that I think this glider is best for, honestly, it's a pretty wide range. If you're trying to step into the C class, this glider is incredibly accessible inside of the C class. I can't believe how much performance it has for how little the workload for the pilot really is. And I think that this is a trend that we are seeing in paragliding in general. The gliders are getting more performance, they're getting safer, they're getting faster. This is just the tide that is rising that's lifting all of the boats, and I'm really grateful for that across the entire industry, not just with Flow. This glider is really fast, and the best part is that you can actually fly it fast because it's comfortable enough on the speed bar that you can use the speed bar. I flew it under the clouds, full speed bar, for about an hour the other day on my big flight, and it was just benign and easy and predictable, but it's fast and it's efficient. It has really thin lines, low line drag. The thing just goes so good. I also think this glider could be suited for pilots who want to step down off of a CCC glider and into something that has a lot of safety but high performance. This is a perfect Volbiv glider. It's made out of lightweight fabric, so it's a relatively lightweight glider. I don't feel like I would need a lightweight version of this glider. It's already light enough for me. And it's also, so launchable and so landable that I could fly it in the mountains and top land it anywhere I wanted to. So I really like it for the idea of Volbiv and adventure gliding. One thing that I really liked about the construction is that Felipe chose to use the rigid weed whacker lines only in the top of the glider. And they don't go the whole length of the glider. The underside is made with a much more pliable wire, and This allows you to just pack it like a normal glider. You don't have to pack this thing like a CCC glider. You don't have to use a packing pillow. The glider is not going to be destroyed by a quick backcountry pack. The glider is designed to be a daily driver with high performance, high passive safety, high performance, fast, fun, and efficient, responsive. It does great wing overs. It stalls really easily. I can't say enough good things about this. Felipe and Flow Gliders have really nailed it on this one, and I know that you will love it too. So if you have questions about sizing or pricing or colors, send me an email at airyintheair@gmail.com. I'm selling these gliders with Jesse from Lift Paragliding out of San Francisco. I'm super stoked on that partnership. And Felipe and I are in contact. I think we're going to be doing more work together in the future. I really like his outlook as a businessman, and he wants to have fun. He wants people to have gliders that are safe and efficient and accessible. And this thing is not designed to be a CCC glider. It's designed to be your daily driver that's got better performance than any glider you've ever flown. And I think it hits the nail on the head there. So thanks so much for watching. I hope this video is helpful. Subscribe to the channel. Leave any comments down below. I try to answer them all. You guys have a great day. Fly safe, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Whoa, that was crazy.